Colorado is hiring Sacramento State head coach BRENNAN MARION as his next offensive coordinator. Former UNLV OC just wrapped up his first season as an FCS head coach. CBS first reported that he was the target. We got to ask Big Mac McChesney, man, the Buff legend, your initial thoughts off the move.
I'm glad they hired a college coach as an offensive coordinator. The last time they did this, it didn't go very well with Coach Lewis, and I don't think it was Coach Lewis's fault. I think Coach Lewis tried to coach the shit out of Shedeur and get him to play within a system. He didn't like it. They fired him. They hired a yes man in Pat. It worked for a year. I don't know how much Pat had to do with that, with Shedeur and Horn and Hunter and Wester and Shepard and all those boys. They were just a good roster. And they played well together. This guy runs the go-go, and Coach can attest to this. It's hard to stop. There's a lot of different variations. They do run the football a lot, which I like. I don't think – the reason I love this move so much is I don't think that he can be controlled. I think this is a let the animal loose rather than, hey, will you come here and coach for me because I can control you? And I love the move. I'm glad that Coach Prime is relinquishing some control and handing it over to a guy who's an ex-head coach. We watched this happen again, first with Lewis. I think Coach Prime knows that he made kind of a mistake there. And he's learning from his mistakes here and hiring a really young, innovative coach that did a good job at Sac State, that had a hell of a recruiting class. You know, they got to pay him and apparently see who's broke. And I'm not really sure how that happens, but I'm not in the accounting department. I hope that they can figure out a way to be more consistent up front, to be more powerful up front, to combine the go-go with a little bit of smash mouth, which they run the shit out of the ball in the system. So we'll see. I love the move. I don't really have anything negative to say about it. We'll see how it goes. I'm more concerned about the personnel and how many guys they're going to have to they have a lot of young talent. They got to keep Seaton. They got to keep Juju. They got to keep the Miller brothers, Omarion and D. They got to keep on defense. They got to keep Merritt and McPherson. They got to keep Slaughter. They got to keep Byard. They got to keep Davis Swain, all high school kids, which makes me wonder why they don't recruit more. And then after that, they're going to have to go get roughly 60 cats in the transfer portal. 60. That's what I'm concerned about. Not necessarily. I like this coaching hire, but if he's coaching a bunch of 6-tier transfer portal turd bankers, it doesn't matter. You could have Vince Lombardi back there coaching. If you're coaching bankers and turds, you're not going to win. So they've got to do an unbelievably good job in the transfer portal. They're losing 38 seniors, and I bet another 15 to 20 guys in the portal. So that's just what it is. And I'm excited about the hire. Now you've got to match the personnel to it and keep the people on your team that you know are going to be the foundation and the bed of it, which – consequently, all of his greatest players have been high school kids, every single one of them. So why in the hell do they only have 11 high school recruits? And they have one Colorado kid who's not even in the top 30. I like the Manu kid, but he's a developmental prospect. He's not coming in to help this year or probably next. You don't have to recruit Colorado, but I just sent guys to Oklahoma and SC. So I'm just saying, I don't think it's as hard as they make it, but they sure do like to make it hard on themselves. Coach, what do you think?
Yeah. First of all, I think we're in an era where you're hiring coordinators to now be the head coach of that side of the football.
Yes.
Right.
Meaning you're no longer in charge of personnel either, as Deion Sanders is probably dealing with so many other things regarding health and et cetera. If he misses a spring ball again, for instance, I think he has a guy now that has head coaching experience who can recruit that side of the football. So I believe they're hiring, and this is just from what I've been told, they're hiring guys now across the country that actually recruit that side of the ball for their personnel of their system. Meaning the head coach is the CEO. If I do hire you, it's meaning I'm hands off. You're the head coach of offense. You're the head coach of defense. I'll manage y'all and I'll manage the group, but you guys got to bring in the players for your system. If that's how
great if you're an OC, right?
I don't believe he leaves Sac State for this job after doing what he did and the money that was thrown at him from Shaq and all these other investors if he's not the head coach in waiting.
Yeah.
So I was told he's the head coach in waiting. He'll be replacing Deion Sanders, and it's the only way you leave that job as a youngster. As your first head job, leaving after UNLV, you don't leave after 1 year.
Unless so what you're telling me is we don't have an athletic director, and Prime's pretty much the athletic director, is what you just told me?
Yes.
Okay.
He's going to take over. Like, there's no way.
I don't have a problem with it at all. I just want him to win.
No way you leave that job, Matt. Like if it's on paper and it's in a contract that says I'm the coach in waiting, which you and I are accustomed to from way back when the Manny Diaz's and Mac Browns and James Franklin and Ralph Friedgens at Maryland. We saw the coach in waiting thing. It kind of imploded or exploded, whatever you want to use, kind of faded out, died out. Now I believe it's a verbal or nonverbal way of saying, I need you to replace me, but here you go. Here's the keys. Run the offense. Bring your own guys. And blah, blah, blah. That's the only way he leaves that job. If I'm his agent and Brennan Marion, who's a JUCO guy I've known since he was a youngster, I'd be like, Brennan, dog, you better fucking wait. Because if I look at it let's really piss off the prime sexuals. If I really look at it in depth, Matt, I'm sitting there thinking, so far you've had Shaun Lewis, and you can argue however you want to argue with, but you can say he used him as a scapegoat.
Well, let's be real. I know exactly what happened, and I know people are going to get offended by this again, but I've said it multiple times now. Coach Lewis was coaching the shit out of Shedeur. Shedeur didn't like it. Shedeur went to his father, and Lewis got fired.
You know, I was told that.
And I'm tired of everybody sugarcoating it and act like it didn't happen like that. It's exactly how it happened. Everybody's man enough to handle it. No one needs to, this is the thing. All the prime sexuals, you assume that Prime and Dion and Bucky and Shedeur and everybody are soft and can't handle criticism. They can handle it. They're big boys. They're professionals.
You all can't. Prime sexuals can't.
You guys can't handle it, not them. You think you're defending them. You're just making them look worse because you're so soft, because they don't have anything in common with you. If anything, they got more in common with us than y'all.
Yeah. Here, let me finish the point. You use Shaun Lewis as a scapegoat. You just had an NFL legend's son. You just used him as a scapegoat. And I would be cautious when I'm his agent telling Brennan, hey, be cautious now, because at the end of the day, this may be a sinking ship, and I don't want you to be the scapegoat either for a third year in a row with 3 different OCs. That's all I'm saying to be cautious for. Not that Deion's doing it in a malicious manner, but at the end of the day, he has to protect his brand, Prime, and not the University of Colorado. Let's keep it real. So eventually he will leave Boulder, and he's still also Prime. Prime's going to travel with him for his whole life, not Boulder, Colorado, and the University of Colorado. So he has to protect himself, and he ain't going to fucking just go out like Willie Lump Lump. He's not going to sit there. He's going to have somebody to, and that's the problem in this business, because I heard your take, and I agree, and I said exactly what you said before you said it. Deion has no friends in this profession, meaning professional acquaintances that are coached with experience, hands-on experience that I can call and say, remember, when he brought Zimmer in, Zimmer coached Deion. Zimmer did not coach for Deion. So when you brought guys in, Smitty, like that, they were acquaintances of yours that you played with, played for, or grew up with. Marshall, Warren. Oh, look at all the guys. He has nobody he can call and say, hey, Matt, we coached fucking together 16 years ago at fucking, Northern Arizona. I need you to come coach the D-line for a year. Like, he has none of that. And it's not his fault. It's a matter of experience and years in the business. That's so true. He has to go fucking get and find guys now that he really don't know or don't know him. So
look, I applaud him for making the move, at least. I didn't expect them to really do anything. I got inside information that they were just docking people's pay. This is the only coaching move they made. Marshall Falk went to Southern. They'll have to replace the running back coach. I'm just saying, Darian Hagan sure would look good still in black and gold. He was such an asset and there forever. And running that guy out of the building still bothers me. But we'll see. We'll see what the new OC wants to do with the offensive staff. How many of those guys does he want to keep? How many of those guys does Prime make him keep? There's 3 offensive line coaches. That's too many. There's a lot of coaches. It is. I mean, 3 offensive line coaches, bro. So This guy tells me how to deuce block. This guy tells me how to deuce block. This guy tells me how to deuce block. They're all three different. I wonder why we can't deuce block. Yeah, by the way, I just want you to know this, quarterback and defensive tackle, they didn't run one duo or deuce block all fucking year. Not one. So
explain what a deuce is for the layman's term.
So like the three techniques, the position that Smitty and I played in college, the three techniques, the best defensive tackle on the field, double teaming that guy with the guard and the tackle, and like vertically pushing him off the ball. They have Jordan Seaton and Xavier Hill on the left side. They didn't do it one time. That's just a philosophy thing. So I'm hoping that coach will come in, and I think the go-go, there's this perception that it's just high flying and all these different variations, and it is, but it's built on the run game first. So they're going to get physical in the trench, and they're going to move people. And I bet we won't have a 380-yard leading rusher next year, hopefully. So as long as this is like I'm giving the keys over to this guy on offense and backing up, I'm going to go head coach and like CEO this bitch and let Coach Marion go out and do his job, I'm with it. But if this is micromanaging and like expecting him to conform, then it's not going to work. It'll be the same thing that happened with Coach Lewis. So, and that's not what we need, nor what we want.
Last thing, JB, and I'm going to transition to our next piece of this puzzle. Go ahead.
All the guys in the chat and the people in the chat, just so we're clear, we are very aware of who fucking Brennan's agent is and who Carl Reed is. I've known Carl for 30 fucking years, and I've known Darren Cheverini. They all are with Clutch, you fucks. We know who the fuck they're with. Holy shit.
You know, right. Carl Reed's awesome. Coach Shiv's a buff and family. Yeah, good talk. Thanks for telling us.
I'm just happy here, brother.
Darnell, go ahead.
To the next one. Well, speaking of Sac State, former Sacramento State Hornet, is it Raymond Payne or Ramon Payne had his reaction to Coach Marion leaving in this video right here. Check it out.
I think the biggest thing that we all kind of feel is just frustration. You know, as alum, we want sustainability, we want quality within the program. So for have somebody to leave within a year, you know, it doesn't provide that, especially the state that we're in. There needs to be a meeting of the minds, and that's three people, obviously, that's going to be in particular, and that's got to be the head coach, it's got to be the athletic director, and it's got to be the president. All three have to be on the same page, because right now, just the way that this last year has transpired, we got to be able to make sure that we have a quality program moving forward. You need somebody in the program that has the experience of being a head coach, right? I think those were some of the things that may have been lacking. Great OC, but just getting more tools under the belt. But you need somebody that's going to come in that's reputable, and a guy that now has to potentially, you know, have a name that can open up doors, because we're going to need to schedule. We only have 4 games on the schedule going into next year. So you're going to need somebody that is going to have people who either want to stay, want to commit to playing against us because of who they are as a coach, but also a guy that's going to have his pulse on Sacramento State football.
He kind of took a shot at Brennan for leaving. If you couldn't read through the lines there, there's definitely a shot. And he said specifically lack of head coaching experience. That was Brennan's first gig, obviously, leaving JUCO and then UNLV and been in a few other smaller spots. Yeah, it is what it is. He left, and it's Sacramento State at the end of the day. It is a stepping stone job. It's not a fucking I'm there forever job.
For life, so, right. I
mean, look, personally, if they're not going to hire you, coach, which I don't know if you leave your job right now because I think you like it. There's a guy at Northeastern that's on this show all the time that's California bred that is bad motherfucker. His name is Darren Cheverini, and he looked real good as a Hornet. I'm sorry the guys at Northeastern, but you can't expect to keep Shiv very long because he's a badass coach. So I'm just saying, Sac State, you might want to pick up the phone and go ring, ring, because that I think he would be there for 4 or 5 years and build it the way you want. And then he'll go to his next opportunity because that's not his last either. So, look, Sac State is always going to be a stepping stone. Most schools are. CU's a stepping stone, bro.
Shit, Ole Miss was a stepping stone.
Stepping stone, bro. Everybody's a stepping stone. It's what it is. So,
right.
You know, there's no way to stop this, nor should you. We're not going to make coaches just stay in one spot forever. It's not the way this works. Good coaches, good players are now going to get plucked rapidly, and there's money everywhere. And if you can't afford it or you're cheap, you're not going to get what you want anymore. It's no more like, hey, come coach for me because of this, or come play here because of that. No, it's how much are you going to pay them? Players, coaches, everybody. That's the way this works. So, and everyone in the chat, it's not your money, dog. What do you care?
I'm not wearing a cowboy hat though, so if I can just wear what I'm wearing now, I'd do it.
I think you be swag with a cowboy hat, JB.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do it though. It's just not my get out. It's not my steez, Smitty. Respectfully, it's not my steez.
Fuck is wrong with the cowboy hat, dog?
Matt looks like he belongs in that motherfucker. Like,
you're right. I grew up on a ranch.
Right.
You walk down the street and see that. Like, I gotta quickly be like, I used to fuck motherfucker like you in the pen, and then like walk away.
Stop saying that on me.
And then I gotta say that.
You're a fucking
What, Darnell?
Can you stop saying that on this show, Jason? Like
what?
Say that
Say
in your
what?
group chat.
Say what?
What you just said about.
Repeat it. Say it.
I don't want to repeat it. See, you think you slick. See, you think you can outplay a player. I mean,
Hey,
you can't
in the chat, I did say having 3 offensive line coaches at the beginning of the year could be a good thing, and then the year happened, and it wasn't a good thing. You can change your mind.
You can change
like
your mind.
you might have liked fat girls 4 months ago, and then you got with one, and you're like, this isn't really as fun as I thought, and you changed your mind. That's how it works, dog. It's
I
okay.
always tell Jason that. I said, when you receive new information, you should change your opinion.
You can change your mind.
Doesn't make sense to keep the same thing.
Look at that.
You're not. Smitty's missing the whole point. But the point is, I don't have to apologize for it.
Who
See,
apologized?
that's Smitty. Smitty thinks you gotta apologize and
that's
say that
right.
you learned new things. No, you just say I was wrong or I learned new shit. I don't
when
apologize.
people apologize to me,
Not in this example. I wouldn't apologize.
Matt, you're not apologizing for saying I thought 3-0 line coaches could have been good.
I didn't say you should have. Stop putting words in my mouth.
No,
Jason
I'm not
Brown.
saying you said it. I'm not saying you said it, Darnell, since you're on vacation and all over this fucking different country. I'm saying since you're in Miami and Atlanta and all these different places, you'd stay over there. All I'm saying is that don't have to apologize.
He mad 'cause I'm traveling, Matt. He mad. He mad because I'm traveling and shit.